I think you always got to be ready, especially what's going on in the world. You always got to be ready. There's the whole COVID going on. Anything could happen, and that's why I was training. And, just fell in my lap, and I felt confident about it.
Whoa. Have you hit that subscribe button? If not, what are you waiting for? Do it.
Hello all and all, welcome back to the Total Sport YouTube channel. It's me and it's Jacob, and we're joined by a very special guest and one I'm very excited to have with us, Jimmie Rivera. How are you, man?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
In lockdown still to a degree, so still kind of living that dream, but hey ho, life goes on.
Doing the same thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're all locked up in Vegas at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah, we're locked up until I think tomorrow morning when we get our results back or something like that from the COVID test.
How's that process been? Like, that's got to be completely and utterly mad for you.
I mean, I got tested before up the nose, and I rather think I take up the nose than them putting a swab in my mouth and keeping it there for like 5 seconds. So that sucked.
Yeah, definitely, man. And in terms of like just the whole preparation with the whole behind closed doors thing and how the operation's running as it is now, how have you found that?
It's just like, it's just tough. You have to stay in your room. We can't really walk out. We had to come all the way to Vegas to go all the way to Abu Dhabi. And what sucks is that, like, I'm from the East Coast, so it's a lot easier to go from East Coast to Abu Dhabi. And we literally took, 5 hours here, and then we have another 15-hour flight tomorrow to go to Abu Dhabi. So it just sucks. It's just tough because, we're flying so much, and it's not even like when we come from Abu Dhabi, we could go right back home. We have to go to Vegas and then take a flight from Vegas to home. So it's just a lot of in the air.
Yeah, you talk about differences in flying. Is there anything you're gonna do to prepare for waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning to fight?
We have to basically stay on like Eastern Standard Time. So just today I'll go to bed like 9-10 o'clock, early, what it would be 1 o'clock back home. And then from there it's just keeping the same time schedule. So literally sleeping during the day in Abu Dhabi and waking up and staying up in the middle of the night till like 8 in the morning. So probably end up Tuesday, wake up at 8 or 9 and then do my my cut.
Do you think you'll adjust quickly?
What?
Do you think you'll adjust quickly to it, or it's going to take some time?
I'm hopefully I just kind of stay on Eastern Standard Time, so like where I live, so it'll just be a lot easier to stay on that time and not adjust. I don't really want to adjust because we're going to be fighting at like 4 or 5 in the morning over there.
And what's the process of getting the fight through been like? So you obviously had a change of opponent. You initially had Frankie Edgar lined up, which didn't work out.
No, I got a call for Cody Stamen, and I heard Frankie didn't have an opponent. I put my name on and say, hey, I'll fight Frankie at 35. He said no, or they found some. As far as I was told, that he said no to me. So I said, is Cody still on the table? And they said yeah, so I took Cody, and that was it. There was not the first fight was the Cody fight, and then I tried to get the Frankie fight, but he said no. So I was like, we went back to the Cody fight.
And what are your thoughts on the whole Fight Island thing? I mean, imagine it's going to be quite maybe from the inner fan perspective yourself, it's going to be quite a wild thought in that mind.
It's definitely going to be interesting. I don't really know because literally when we get there, I think they told me I have a 48-hour quarantine, so I have to stay in my room. So I get there Saturday, and I basically can't leave my room until Monday. So I don't know what much to do. I heard it's very freaking hot there too. So that should be interesting as well.
Who are you in contact with out there? Is it fighters that you're speaking to out there that you're friends with, or is it more the officials?
No, it's just what the UFC is telling me. I got here today. Like, we thought we were leaving early tomorrow. I'm actually really not leaving until like 8 o'clock at night tomorrow night. So it's definitely going to be like a whirlwind to figure out the time and to do things. It's just, I was just thinking now, as you guys are telling me, I got to sit down and plan everything out to make sure I'm on the right schedule. So when I'm up and I'm ready to fight, I'm not sleeping.
With everything that's going on, all the preparation you've got to do differently, is there any concerns about the weight cut at all?
No, 45, no. Not at all. Got cut a couple pounds and make it, and that's it.
And in terms of your actual setup when you get there, from what I've seen on the embedded and stuff, they literally give you space within your hotel room to do your rolls and stuff like that, don't they?
I don't know. I didn't see all the embedded. I think we're in a suite and it has like a joiner room. So as long as we have that, like a living room area, that's all we need to get a workout in. So I know tomorrow we'll be going out, probably hit some mitts tonight, but tomorrow we'll go outside and just hit some pads, get a little workout outside. And from there, when we get to Abu Dhabi, some light training inside. There's not much to do before a fight. It's fight week. It's ready to go. There's not much we could do. Just get some work in, get a light sweat in.
And in terms of your opponent, in Cody, what are your thoughts going into that fight, and what are you expecting from that?
Expecting a fight. It's gonna be a tough fight. He's a tough guy. Kind of same build and same. Kind of ideally me in a way, striking and wrestling, stuff like that. So, the one thing I love is that I'm not fighting someone that's 10 feet tall. I always hate fighting people tall. But it's almost like the same build. Again, looking just a tough guy, man. It's a tough guy going in there, just doing what we do best, is fight.
Obviously, this weekend is a massive card. Peter Yan's fighting Jose Aldo. What are Yard's main strengths? Obviously, you fought him, and do you see him beating Aldo?
If it was the same Aldo that showed up against Marlon, yeah. But if it's the Aldo that showed up at 145 with the crazy combos and just everything he did, I mean, it could go either way, really, in that fight. Just because it was Jan's first fight at 35, now he's fighting. I mean, Aldo's first fight at 35, now he's fighting at 35 again. That's like, out of all the fights, like I got Masvidal, I got Holloway, but with that fight, I just don't know which way he's gonna go. It all depends. I feel like all depends after that first round, or second round, to see how it floats out, see how Aldo's controlling fight and what he's doing. I mean, it is a 5-round fight. He is cutting 10 extra pounds, then from 45 to 35. It's just gonna be really interesting to see what happens and what Aldo shows up. If it's the old school Aldo through combinations and just walk through people, yeah. If it's how Aldo fought against Marlon, then I think Jan has it. And
you mentioned talking on Aldo. What do you feel about him getting a title shot despite coming in off a loss?
I mean, I thought he won the fight, and it could have went either way with him and Marlon Moraes. I think, it's not something he doesn't deserve. I think he's been around forever, and he took a huge jump coming down. And with that said, he hasn't really, he's only had one fight at 35 with a title shot, but I also see the business standpoint of having Jan fight him as well. So, I mean, it is what it is, but the whole thing I'm happy about is that the division is going. And hopefully whether Jan wins or Aldo wins, they keep it going with title fights. It doesn't stop. It's not like Henry win the belt and out for a year to fight. This keeps, title defenses every 3 to 4 months, which I'm hoping for.
Aljamain Sterling's the next guy in line, I think. Say if Peter Yan did come through that fight with Aldo, who do you see winning that one?
Sterling and Yan. I think Yan wins that fight.
Why is that?
Why is that? I think Yan has some good wrestling defense, and I just think at the end of the day, I mean, I feel like Sterling has to get him down to beat him, and that's going to be tough. And I think Yan is the better striker out of the two.
And you mentioned your other two picks there. We'll get to the Masvidal and Usman fight in a sec. But you mentioned Holloway in that second, which I found interesting. So I feel like a lot of people are kind of going with the grain and picking Volkanovski. I feel he's been quite a popular pick. So what's your thought process behind going for Max? I just like
Holloway. I'm a big fan. I hope he wins. I mean, at the end of the day, it's MMA. Anybody can win. You could just look at for example, the most recent fight was Usman and Kobe. It was going back and forth, and then Usman finished him in the fifth round. Anything can happen. It's MMA. It's fighting. You could be trying to knock the guy out and get caught. It's just the way it is. But I'm just a huge Holloway fan, so I'm hoping he wins.
And to touch on that main event, of course, that's massive. I think all three of us here are massively, intrigued by that one. thought behind your pick behind Masvidal. I mean, me and Jacob agreed that we both, been saying beforehand we would like to see Masvidal win that fight. But what's your thought process behind him taking that one?
Yo, he's street Jesus. He's got to win. Plus, I get shit from my corners over here because we're all Hispanic. So you got to root for the Hispanic guy. But you know what? I had Usman until I saw a recent interview with Poirier on how, like he was just saying, like, Masvidal must have knew that he was going to get a fight because he was training. He was training with elite wrestlers. He was still training like he had a fight coming up, even though he didn't. So I just think he'll go in there and do his work. I think he's at a point where he's very confident, and as long as he feels strong with the wrestling and he can stop Usman takedown, he's going to do really well.
And just a final one from me is, a lot's been made on the fact that he's coming in on a week's notice, but do you buy into that? Do you think he's been training the entire time for this specific fight, given it was talked about for so long?
Well, that's what I was thinking about, but then Dustin Poirier did an interview recently, and he said he's been training, been helping a whole bunch of guys get ready for fights, and he's in shape. So I think at this point, I think you always got to be ready, especially what's going on in the world. You always got to be ready. There's the whole COVID going on. Anything could happen, and that's why I was training. And, this fell in my lap, and I felt confident about it, because there's so many things going to happen. And, someone else's tragedy could be your success. I don't know the best way to put it right now, but, it's like, Pedro Munoz, whoever's fighting Frankie, or if they reschedule this fight, that'd be a huge fight for that person fighting Frankie. And it sucks for Pedro, but, hopefully he's safe, he gets well, and he gets back in there. But that's a huge thing, so anything can happen. It's a huge thing for Masvidal. Burns got tested positive COVID. Now Masvidal could go in and fight and get a title shot.
And if you had to give you a quick fire sort of pick, what are you saying in terms of how the fight goes? What's your pick? What round? How does it finish?
I think if Masvidal, if he finishes the fight, it's going to be probably, I want to say, the 4th round.
And that's what Jimmy's going with, folks. Let's see if he's correct in that one. Thank you so much for joining us, Jimmy. We know you're a super busy dude at the moment with all this going on. So we really
anytime,
appreciate
guys.
your time. Best of luck in your fight.
Appreciate it.
And we'll be rooting for you back here, man. And hopefully we'll catch up with you after that as well, and we can speak again.
Sounds good, man. Thank you again. Have a good one, guys.
Absolutely. Thank you. Enjoy your time, man. See you later.
You too. Bye.